Welcome back to A Front Row Cinema, a movie podcast for movie lovers by movie lovers. I am your host, TJ Trimboli, and today we're talking Final Destination Bloodlines, the latest installment in the franchise that began 25 years ago. Crazy to say that. I remember watching the first movie at a sleepover, scared out of our wits, did not sleep at all that night after watching that movie. And here we are 25 years later, the sixth installment in the franchise, and possibly the best one in the franchise. We're going to get into it. We're going to dive into all that good stuff. Bloodlines is a 2025 horror film directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein from a script by Guy Busick and Laurie Evans Taylor, and starring Caitlin Santa Juana, Richard Harmon, and in his final performance, the late, great Tony Todd. Interestingly enough, Guy Busick is one of the writers responsible for the new era of Scream films, and now he helps revitalize another horror classic and breathe new life into this franchise. Now, I saw it this past Sunday, the 18th, early afternoon show. I know not the best time to see it with a big crowd, but that was when I can go. And the theater was still somewhat packed, and they were still pretty animated. Like, maybe like just about halfway full, and you felt like it was a packed audience. The crowd was loving this movie. You could tell that everyone was having a lot of fun. And it shows 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. B plus cinema score. I know anything less than the A minus is a death sentence, but horror is a tough bag along with comedy, so I could see where that B plus would come from. Movie though budgeted at 50 million and absolutely destroyed its past opening weekend. We are on an absolute tear since Minecraft came out right now, with movie after movie doing some great business. Final Destination Bloodlines really bringing the heat. Does 51.6 opening weekend, best for the franchise, and matches it internationally with another 51 million for a total worldwide total of 102 so far against a $50 million budget. So an absolute banger of a weekend, already making our money back, already just going to start printing money. This is an absolute win and just absolutely proves the rule: absence makes the heart grow fonder. And now let's dive into it. Like, this movie is, we queued it up a little bit in the beginning. I honestly do believe that this is the best Final Destination movie that they've made so far. This one has really found and perfected the formula of what makes these so good, while also giving a lot of fun twists and curves to the formula to make it feel new and fresh and exciting. And I think the best way that it does that is I love the lore building in this movie. Movies like this with these Final Destination ones, they like really don't really care usually sometimes about the formula. You've seen in some of the ones that like are really like horrible. I think of like the Final Destination, where they just really don't give a shit about any of the lore building or anything. It's basically like, you're here, here's a group, here are the kills, see you later. And it's like, that's fine if that's what you're looking for, but I like a little bit more meat on the bone, and this movie gives you a little bit more meat on the bone. There's a lot of lore built into this movie that explains the existence of the other movies and this movie within its world. I like the idea that all of the other movies are working from this one event that kicks off this movie, which is the Skyview accident happening, and the penny being like the embodiment of evil that kicks off this movie. The fact that you have the police officer tell that kid when he's pinching a penny out of the water fountain that it's bad luck, and it sets off basically what is the chain event of every single one of these movies, as death is working its way through all of the people and families that survived this one event that our main character, the grandmother, when she was younger, prevented. I think that's very interesting. It's a very cool new twist, and it's something that doesn't just kind of like break or jump the shark of the formula this late into the game, but helps recontextualize everything that came before it. So I think that was a very smart play by them. It was a very interesting way to make a new one. And then also is an interesting way to play for if we're going to do sequels, or prequels, or however you're going to do it, because now you can just pick and choose throughout that whole huge window of things that they had to choose from. I would have liked it maybe a little bit more. This is a little bit of a negative, but it's more of a nitpick for me than anything. If it wasn't that she was the last person, but that they were just the latest ones, and that by the end of this movie we can break the annoying formula of the stinger at the end of this movie, where our main characters just end up dying in a thing anyway, that it's like you can't escape death and die. Instead, I would have thought maybe something more interesting to set up like the future of this franchise is maybe now she is going to take on more of like a leader, maybe the Tony Todd role in this, where like now she's going to seek out the other people from this event that she can go and try and help save, as like more death starts hunting down these people. Because like I get the stinger at the end. It's one last horror gripe to throw at people, like to send you home happy with one last big kill. But one of the things that always kills it for me is that these movies have always been kind of like it's the movie is like almost, it's like a coming of age movie where it's like young kids are realizing their mortality for the first time in their lives, and they're grappling with the idea of that like one day, you don't know when, it could be tomorrow, it could be years from now, like you are going to die. It just happens to be in this like horrific genre movie where it's like no, death is actively seeking you out because it was supposed to happen but you circumvented it. So I think that's like a fun genre to play in, but it just always feels cheap to me, at least by the end of it, where like you think that at least one or two of them, like the people that are actually like pure of heart and deserving, would transcend that and accept the fact that one day I'm going to die, and for that they finally get to live. But then we just have to have that stinger. Like it's a nitpick, really. Like I get it. I get why it's there. Like it's to send the people I'm happy with one last big kill. Like I understand that. I'm not trying to take that away. But I guess just for my sensibility of like what I'm looking for a storytelling level, like it would make more sense to me if like our main character actually gets to, like they went through hell, they courted death, and they made it out the other side. They're accepting the fact of their own mortality, and now they go out into the world and actually live their life. Like that seems like a more fitting end to me in these than just like, oh nope, this is like I get it. There's no escaping it. It's a bit nihilistic. Like you're gonna fucking die. Death has your number. But again, that's more of a nitpick than anything. I don't want to make it seem like I'm harping on that this movie sucks because they don't give me that. But that's just something that I would look for more personally in movies like this. But I mean, the main course that we're all here for, absolutely brutal and inventive kills. And this movie really brings back the ingenuity and inventiveness in crafting the kills, and not so much the kills themselves, but like tricking your mind into thinking like, hey, we've set up like 6 different things in this room, and now you're sitting there waiting for the other shoe to drop to see which one of the ones gets put into motion to make it stand out. Like one of the more interesting ones that I like is when the grandma in her house catches death like burning a rope, and she's like, I'm watching you, asshole, and like knocks it out, and you think that like she's just really good at courting death, but it's like that was death like playing 4D chess because he's setting up for like later in the movie to pay off when they would come back and then that would like happen. So like I really enjoy the way that they play with the way that death kind of like stacks the deck to make sure that like no matter what happens, like if they escape this one trap, they're going to walk into this other one. Like I think those Rubik's cubes are like really interesting. And the absolute best one in this movie, which honestly might be like one of the best ones in this entire franchise, is the MRI Machine Death. Absolutely just the brutality on display in this one is unbelievable. Where one of our characters, Richard Harmon, is a man with a lot of piercings, and the MRI machine gets like turned on to lethal levels, research level, which apparently like just makes the thing just absorb electricity, and all of their like phones and stuff fly into the machine. All of his piercings get ripped out of his body. His like nose, his septum piercing comes out. His nipple piercings come out, and then we see that he's got a Prince Albert. For any of you at home, that's a dick piercing. And it tries to rip that out. And then a wheelchair behind him comes cascading into him and sends him flying into the MRI machine. And the MRI machine folds him in half like a sandwich as it sucks him into it. It is so violently visceral and awesome. It was incredible. Like that whole like I audibly was like, dear God, like while watching that. It was just fantastic. That one was a lot of fun. That guy's character, also Richard Harmon's character, is probably my favorite in the movie, and he's another indication of how much fun they're having playing with the formula, because it's crazy to me that we got this deep into the game where like they're finally playing with like, oh, you think he's going to be first because he's first in line of the family, but like, oh no, wait, here's the twist. He's actually not part of the family. Like he was born out of wedlock from an affair that the mom had. So like it was a sweet twist to like you're expecting it to be him, and you could play around with that, but then it happens to like the next person that you're least expecting. Like that was very fun to play with that twist, and stuff like that goes a long way to like really cementing how good this movie is above the rest of them. That we know like the formula, we can play with the formula, we can give you twists and turns through this adventure to always keep you guessing. And a lot of the other movies didn't really feel like that. They all just felt like rinse and repeat of the previous installment. So it's very awesome to see that they're being so inventive this deep into the run, and I'm very interested to see like what we can come up with going forward in this franchise. And the last thing that I really love for this movie that feels worth talking about is a surprisingly poignant send-off for Tony Todd. Tony Todd died a couple of months ago. This is pretty much, I believe, his last performance. And it's crazy how well it fits, not only as an exit for him in this franchise, because like here's the end of the Skyview accident, like he knows his time's coming in this world, but also like presently like all knowing in the idea that like that his death was also imminent too. Like I don't know if like he knew something behind the scenes or anything, like or what was going on, but it is like scary how well that fits, like not only in real life but in the movie for his like send off in this franchise. So I thought that was incredibly well done, and I really enjoyed that. The biggest thing that I can say in the negative for this movie, and this is not like a negative just for this movie, that is this movie is encompasses so many movies that are made today, is I like abhor the CGI digital sheen of this movie, and in particular it's the Skyview scene, which is the premonition scene, and the final train derailment scene. They look horrible. Like they don't look like they were filmed in any tangible reality. I just hate the digitalness of it all. It looks horrible, and it works. It makes it look so much worse because it's juxtaposed against so many of the other like single kills that look really good. Like the MRI machine kill looks fantastic. The lawnmower kill, great. The like explosion at the compound, great. So it's just so weird then that we get the huge premonition scene and this train derailment scene that look so egregiously like not real that it really ruined it. Like that ruined it for me and really brought it down, because like every time I'm watching it, like I'm just reminded that like it's like this whole thing is just green screen. Like nothing of this looks like it was filmed with any ingenuity or creativity like the rest of the movie. So it really hampered a lot of the fun for me, and especially that those two things bookend this movie. So like that kicks it off and I'm down, but then like the kills bring me back up, and then the whole like ending coupled with the oh hey, there are kids that got through this, like psych, we're gonna kill them anyway. So like ending on a bad note for me too. So like the bookends kill this movie for me, but the middle chunk of this with the single kills and the adventure of like them figuring out is like top notch Final Destination. It is fantastic. Overall, I'm telling you, this is the best Final Destination movie. Go out and check it out for yourselves if you haven't seen it yet. If you're fans of horror franchises and everything, definitely go check it out. This one, I'm going to give 3 out of 5, right in the middle of the road. A lot of fun, great time at the theater. Definitely go see it in theaters with an audience, because that's where the fun is had. It's just an enjoyable ride, and it's one that you're not going to think that you wasted time in the theater. It's just a fun adventure, and I'm looking forward to wherever we go next in this franchise. And that's going to do it for Final Destination Bloodlines. Like, go out, check it out for yourself, form these own opinions for yourself. Be on the lookout. I might do a ranking of all the Final Destination movies. We'll see how I'm feeling. See if maybe I can get Big Jimbo on that one. And, go check out these movies for yourself. And as always, I'll see you at the movies.